Welcome to Chuco's Power Pick number 2. Showtime, folks. Today, we're talking about a little film called Bullet Train, based off of the book Bullet Train. And listen, to be fair, Bullet Train is gaining a little bit more of a following now than when it came out. When it came out, I feel like, sure, they had a lot of marketing going on. They had the trailer playing, but I don't think it made that much money, and it really wasn't in the theaters all that long. But it's becoming more of a little bit of a cultural hit, especially because of memes, and little Instagram reels and whatever. It's just becoming one of those things where people know the meme or know the part of the movie that is a meme, and it's known in that regard. But I don't think a lot of people have seen Bullet Train, and if they have seen it, they don't really talk about it all too much. But, I revisited Bullet Train maybe a couple weeks ago, and there's a lot about this movie that just is really, really good, and it just goes unheard of. So, Bullet Train revolves around Brad Pitt's character, who is just tasked with filling in for somebody, which is really important. He's filling in for somebody on a snatch and grab job. He's trying to take this briefcase off of a train that just happens to have people there trying to guard it and people there trying to get it to someone else at the end of the line. And a lot of people want this briefcase, and a lot of people are after each other in this film. It's just like kind of like one person's after this person's after this person, and it becomes kind of like an action thriller, all taking place on this one bullet train. And first off, to start off with the pros of this movie, the acting in it and the casting is just phenomenal. I just love everything about who's casted in this film. Even the small minor parts are just acted well. You believe everybody. It's goofy and it's witty, and everybody plays their character very, very well, and I enjoy it. Brad Pitt does he does an exceptional job of being a goofy guy that's really good at his job, but is extremely goofy and doesn't take everything too seriously. You got two characters, Tangerine and Lemon, who play off of each other really well. The chemistry there is good. They're portraying brothers, and they do an exceptional job. And even the main antagonist in the film, you're kind of worried about what's to come because of the way they speak about him. And so there's definitely stakes in this movie that make you invested in it, Another pro I have, like I said, this is becoming a John thing. I know, but there's some groovy music in this. You know what I'm saying? Like they throw some tunes in here that make the action more enjoyable, make the sequences more enjoyable. And it really gives it its own flavor. Bullet Train really becomes an enjoyable experience because they throw all these different pop culture songs that everybody enjoys. And I'm kind of a fan of certain action movies putting music that doesn't really fit the situation in a scene. I think it kind of elevates it in some senses. It's becoming a little bit of a trope in recent years. I've seen it a little bit more than we used to. So it takes away a little bit of the, excitement of it. But I like it. What can I say? Certain movies do it better than others, but I enjoy it. But Bullet Train is definitely one of those films that just kind of flew under the radar. And I still think it's flying under the radar as of right now. But I really enjoy it. It's definitely not a... So I've said it before, with these kind of Chuco power picks, these aren't movies that I would say are 5s or maybe even 4s. But they're definitely enjoyable. They're popcorn movies. I think the one thing Bullet Train might suffer from to some people is that it runs a little long towards maybe the middle. It gets a little long. There's certain portions that maybe could be cut out. I know one of the main critiques of this movie, I think, that I've heard before is that they do too many of these flashbacks or little side stories that comedically play into the plot in a sense, but they run a little long. I personally didn't mind them, but I can agree that the movie runs a little long. But if you have it's not a few hours. If you have a couple hours to spare for this movie, it's definitely enjoyable. It's an action thriller. There's nothing too crazy in this film that I could think of right out the get. Maybe a little bit of violence, with the movie about heists and hitmen and stuff like that. I'm sure you're expecting it, but there's nothing explicit in nature as far as like adult themes or anything like that. So this is a movie that's safe to watch around, I would say, teenagers to adults. I know some people are a little bit more lenient with what people can watch than others, but I definitely would say PG-13 to R rated area. It's safe to watch. I can't think of anything too crazy in the film. And I recommend it as a power pick if you got a couple hours to burn and you just want something to watch that you haven't seen before. But with that, what do you guys think about Bullet Train? Have you seen the movie? Would you recommend it to others? Would you not recommend it? What are your issues with the movie? Or do you, think that this is pretty good? Do you think Brad Pitt did a good job? Did the comedy hit for you like it hits for me? I think it does. What are your thoughts? Just leave them down below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet and you're new, please subscribe to our channel, ring the notification bell so you get notifications for other videos. And like or share this video. It really helps the channel grow, and we appreciate all the support. We know that you could be watching something else, but you're here, and then you might go do your homework and watch Bullet Train. So that's a lot of time you're dedicating, and I appreciate it. So I try to watch these movies to give you guys something good to watch, so you guys don't have to go sift through all the bad stuff and you get a nice, decent experience. So with Bullet Train, this channel, we like to do ratings. I like to do ratings. It's just kind of, I think it puts in perspective for people. I would say Bullet Train is a groovy high 3. You know what I'm saying? I would say it's a high 3.5 maybe. For me, the action hits, the comedy hits, the music's good. It checks a lot of the boxes for me. The casting is great. All the characters are acted well. Even one I'm pretty sure it's his first time acting. I think Bad Bunny's never acted before prior to this movie. Even him, he comes in there and I'm like, okay, I believe this guy's his character, So everything is done well. I do think the movie runs a little long in some instances. I've seen it a few times now, so maybe that's just what it is. So with that, guys, I'd give Bullet Train a solid 3.5 out of 5. It's going to come across as a 3. Ask yourself if you feel lucky. I don't want you guys to think it's a low 3. This movie definitely brings the energy. It brings excitement, casting, and comedy. It does all of that very well. But I think some of the plot lines leave something to be desired. It runs a little long, and it might not be for everybody. But with that, guys, appreciate it. And it just reminds me of something my friend Ladybug used to tell us, and that's